Why? 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 Why?
Okay, let me just back up a minute because I do like certain aspects of the overarching idea of this episode.
The premise of this particular episode of the show is built around the previously explored imaginative sequences that Blossom tends to have of her being successful. And the title of the episode actually reflects this, as it's a reference to the 1939 short story, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which you would know if you weren't uncultured swine!
However, for all the credit I give the concept, I can't just give it a pass on the execution.
As I'm sure all the Samurai Jack fans in the audience know all too well. Your tears sate my everlasting thirst. Something along those lines.
Right, so it's club day and Blossom winds up not getting to the Model UN before it's full.
And you know, I would think that there would be someone other than Blossom or Billy in the fucking shot! Even like halfway in the shot, if it were really that overpopulated. Yeah, a lot of people complain that sort of the lack of background extras in some scenes really makes the world feel underpopulated, and this is where it comes across in a very direct fashion. I mean, all the other groups have crowds in front of them.
Well, except the Cheese Club, but the lack of interest there was the point.
So why not just put a few extras in the background here? You even already have models for people. For instance, you could just put Jared Shabi... Oh. Oh, we'll get there. Trust me.
Right, after terrible animation with Blossom's overdramatic cry,
which should have been really fucking easy to sync up properly. It looks like it's even at a lower frame rate than the rest of the episode. How the fuck do you get away with that?
Enough nitpicking. Looks like Blossom needs to think about joining a different club.
So this is where the daydream sequences happen. Each of the daydream sequences are related to Blossom being successful in the field that the club is associated with. So, yeah, fair enough. Daydream sequence number 1 is, naturally, Blossom being an artist.
Specifically, a Victorian-era artist painting a chair.
Which, admittedly, seems like a properly executed joke, if just one that's not really that funny. But they do go full-on stupid with the chair shit.
So naturally, people start showing up to compliment the painting when...
Here we go.
So Jared's recurring role in all the dream sequences is that he says the exact same fucking line over and over again until I want to bash my skull with a brick. God damn it!
And yeah, I get the idea of having recurring themes because, you know, it's dream sequences being had by Blossom. Of course there's going to be recurring stuff in all of them. But his job is to tell Blossom that she gets an A on whatever the fuck she happens to be doing. Miss Keene's right there! You know, the actual teacher who would be giving such a letter grade? Oh, but... of course, there's no romantic attraction to Miss Keene, so, you know, it doesn't work at all. Second dream sequence. You guys already know what I'm going to talk about, right? Just wait for the second dream sequence. It's going to be great. By great, I mean second dream sequence. That's what I'm going to talk about. Woo!
So everyone likes the painting until a couple of people say they think the chair painting is too provocative.
Which is completely idiotic as is. Of course, you could probably say that that's part of the joke. Sure, where's the rest of it? What, are kids supposed to pick up on the fact that the painting is Venus Verticordia, Blossom is Dante Gabriel Rossetti, and the old man is John Ruskin? For fuck's sake, at the very least, the title is a reference to a 2013 Ben Stiller movie, too!
I think the even less realistic part of all this is how quickly these two people convinced literally everyone to turn on Blossom.
Because, you know, it has to end badly for Blossom, otherwise she just joins the art club and we don't get to do our anthology episode. Look, this is probably fine, but I'm already against the episode at this point. I'm contractually obligated to act like this is the worst thing ever. Just cut me some slack, okay?
So now the angry mob releases a giant robot to destroy the painting.
Which is another recurring theme to these dream sequences, but unlike the other recurring theme, at least this one serves an actual purpose. you know, it's just kind of random. I'm not really going to complain about it too much.
Release the Renaissance robot!
That was 200 years before the actual historical event that you're depicting in this scene! Fine. Whatever. Can't even give you guys credit, apparently. Next dream sequence, Blossom's an astronaut. At least with this one, having a giant robot show up would make sense.
Okay, so this dream sequence actually starts out really funny.
Which mostly comes down to, believe it or not, the jokes actually being funny and the characters having, you know, character, personality. The over-under joke that, you know, Blossom does with Bubbles, yeah, it's a little bit predictable, but it actually winds up being funny. And Buttercup throwing the rocks at Blossom and then being like, yeah, they don't float into space, I gotta keep testing though. It's actually kind of funny. I know humor is subjective, other people aren't gonna find it funny, but I did. So that's why I like this beginning of this much better.
Oh yeah, right, this one is kind of sort of Star Wars?
Which honestly feels like a reference for the sake of a reference, especially since considering this is about exploration. Star Trek would actually make more sense as the reference to go with here. I mean, you can have Buttercup do a McCoy impersonation. You can still do the over-under thing. I think it would work better. That's just me, though.
Anyway, right, so Jared is Vader.
And here's the moment you've all been waiting for.
And now, in the spirit of intergalactic friendship, and maybe more in the future,
Ladies and gentlemen, head writer Jake Goldman.
Yeah, it gets kind of hard to look at the whole thing innocently when you know how much of a self-insert character Jared Shapiro really is.
And for those who still doubt that Jake Goldman literally is Jared Shapiro, he also voices the character. And you know what? I don't have a problem with a self-insert character. That's one thing. Self-insert character that's in a romantic relationship with an underage character, that's a little bit creepy, but whatever. But you know, he's very much written as a Mary Sue. One thing I can't help but notice is that all of the character's flaws are sort of portrayed in this very cutesy light in order to make him seem more appealing. And I can't believe I didn't see this when I reviewed Snow Month.
So, right, Blossom does polite things, and they're apparently an act of war.
Which, I'm sorry, didn't he say that he tracked the Earthlings for months? I mean, in that case, wouldn't he just know the Earthling behavior and tell her to not do those things?
Whatever, we need an excuse for the giant robot.
Because I'm guessing the studio rejected the idea of Jared making out with Blossom and angering the troops to get the giant robot to show up. Whatever. Third dream sequence is Breakdance Club. And, you know, considering I'm the only one who hasn't had an inherent problem with the hip-hop references in this show, I bet this is going to work a lot better for me than it does for other people. I have an inherent problem with these hip-hop references.
Okay, so I totally get what this is going for. It's a parody of 80s dance movies, specifically stuff like Breakin'.
But, yeah, B-boys don't actually talk like that. I give them more credit in Puff Dora's Box, too, because of the house party setting, and it fitting more with the framework of the episode. They built the episode around it. Here, it's just thrown in for the sake of being thrown in, and doesn't really work.
The dream sequence also gets a healthy dose of completely wooden expository statements.
So, you know, at least there's something in here that's accurate to B-boy movies.
Yo, I perused this contract for reals,
Shut the fuck up, Bubbles! Just shut the fuck up! No one in the history of anything has ever spoken in the way that you are speaking right now, so just stop! Oh my fucking god!
The dance-off sequence is actually pretty good.
Until near the end, but there's two specific points about it that I want to specifically call out in a specific manner. To specify.
First, this reference.
Move to the left, move to the right, it's Soul Sonic on the floor tonight.
African Bombada's fan, Soul Sonic Force. Yeah, get on to them for forcing it in all you want, but don't act like they don't know what they're doing, which is why I'm so disappointed in fucking Bubbles!
The very end of it is also kind of hilarious with the booty bump blast.
To the point where I almost want to have it be a normal thing. Almost. Let's not get carried away here.
This time the robot literally comes up out of nowhere with no explanation. Haha. Get it? The previous two actually explain why the robot showed up, but this one doesn't. It's part of the joke.
Fucking kill me. And Blossom winds up joining us Sci-Fi Writers Club. Whatever, I kind of just stopped caring. This episode is the problem with... I think the main... To summarize what... This episode is exactly why people hate this fucking show.